Good evening. And as usual, I'm going to give you my quick update on sports. I hope many of you had a chance to see the Thursday night football game between arguably the two worst teams in the NFL. And now, what I would have to consider as the worst team in the NFL, the New York Jets, lost to the Cleveland Browns. They lost to the Cleveland Browns. Now, and here is after the Jets were saying, well, we took this great rookie quarterback who is probably better than the number one pick that the Browns had. But guess what, folks? That number one pick that the Browns had made our new rookie quarterback look like he needs to go back to high school. And then, of course, the other team that I love so much, the Denver Broncos, they lost. So, with that, the Dolores County Broadcasting Network presents the DCTV 4-H Evening News Program for Monday, September 24th, 2018. We have a short crew today. Camera person is Hannah. Video engineer, producer is Edward. Sound engineer, Dan. Prompter, Myra. News anchor is Daniel. Meteorologist is Daniel. And this is your news director, Dan. Don't confuse the two. And now the news.
Welcome to the DCTV 4-H Kids Evening News Show. Help us keep our kids' news show on the air by becoming a sponsor. To buy a sponsorship, just call 970-677-4119. That's 970-677-4119. Now for the news, this is from the Denver Post. Update, 17-year-old girl dies in Sunday night. Crash near Island Grove Park. Greeley police announced Monday a 17-year-old girl died from injuries she sustained in a two-vehicle crash Sunday night near Island Grove Regional Park in North Greeley. The girl's name has not yet been released. The crash occurred about 9 p.m. Sunday in the 1200 block of A Street near the entrance to the Island Grove Splash Park. A red Dodge Neon driven by a 17-year-old boy was traveling west on A Street when it was T-boned by a white Chevy Tahoe SUV that was exiting the splash park. The girl was sitting in the front passenger seat. The boy was uninjured. The driver of the SUV fled from the Tahoe front bumper, complete with license plate, remained at the scene of the crash. Police have located the vehicle, but officers are still trying to determine who was driving the Tahoe Sunday night, said Lieutenant Fred Meyer, a spokesman for Greeley Police. An investigation is ongoing. The girl is the 43rd person to die on Weld County roads in 2018. As of this time last year, 45 people have died on Weld roads. Comments from the DCTV. The article does not say that was the actual cause of the accident. With two teen drivers involved, it might have been caused by not paying the proper attention to oncoming traffic, texting while driving, alcohol or drugs, or looking away from the road for just a second. It has happened here too, and because of being a small town, we know most of the folks living here. We really do not want to hear or read about this happening to you, so please be careful. The Durango and Silverton Narrow Gauge Railroad rose again. The Durango and Silverton Narrow Gauge Railroad pulled out of the station in Durango, headed for Silverton on Friday, making the first full trip since track damage caused by floods hamstrung the train almost 2 months ago. Yeah, I know I used to be considered a tough businessman, said owner Al Harper, but as I've gotten older, there must have been a change in my chemistry because I was very emotional seeing it leave. It has been a tough year for the train and the community, Harper said. The DNSNG was first sidelined June 1st after the 416 fire broke out north of Durango, suspending service for about 40 days during peak tourist season. The wildfire crew chewed through 54,129 acres and conditions were too hot and dry to safely run. The train resumed full service during Durango to Silverton in mid-July after the 416 fire started to burn out and fire danger across southwest Colorado began to subside with the arrival of modest rainfall, but then mudslides and debris flows caused by heavy rains on the 416 fire burn scar washed out part of a mountain slope where the train runs north of Hermosa, requiring a extensive rebuild of the hillside and tracks. The DNSNG trains have been trapped above the mudslide area, unable to return to Durango for the past 2 months. The train has offered rides from the Rockwood station to Silverton, but ridership has been down. The economic toll on the DNSNG and the communities of Durango and Silverton are not yet fully understood, Harbour said. In a normal year, the DNSNG brings in about $20 million from rides and gift shops. This year, the train is trending at about half that, he said. Christian Robbins, a spokesperson for the DNSNG, said the train lost about 60,000 riders from June to August. It will be difficult but possible to bring ridership back on track for the season, which ends late October. We have a shot, Robbins said, but it will be a challenge. And that doesn't make it into account the money the railroad has spent on repairs and intends to spend investing in diesel and oil burning locomotives to run in the future when fire danger is too high to risk running coal. This story is from the Denver Post. Durango man climbs 100 tallest peaks in Colorado. Matt Payne had a goal, climb Colorado's 100 highest peaks. It may have taken the Durango resident 39 years to do it, but he logged his last trip this month. During the last decade of climbing, Payne had captured more than 60,000 images of nightscapes, sunrises, and sunsets from more than 70,000 mountain peaks that sometimes took hours or hundreds of photographs to compose. He had lugged dozens of pounds of camera equipment up some of Colorado's most rigorous trails. He had gone more than a day without sleep for a picture. I have a really strong connection with the mountains and the wilderness, and being up in those mountains really feeds my soul, Payne said. In a recent interview, Payne came from Colorado Springs to Durango in 2000 to work for Colvin Silver Camps, and soon after decided to make it his permanent home while he lived in Oregon. In the interim, he moved back to Durango in late 2015 for its proximity to the San Juan Mountains, the size of the town, and the like-mindedness people here seem to share. This is probably the best part of Colorado. It's pretty tough to beat, Payne said. There are a couple of things that keep pulling him back to the mountain, he said. Completing the goal of climbing a mountain is pretty rewarding, and experiencing the amazing views once he reaches the top. There's really nothing like it, he said. Climbing Colorado's 100 highest peaks is an objective his father Ray had. It was a legacy he passed on to his son at the age of 4 when the two climbed their first mountain together. Of course, he moaned and groaned most of the way up. The older Payne said back, but we got back down and he wanted to go more. As the Colorado Springs natives climbed more mountains, Ray Payne said he saw a passion for nature growing in his son. They would climb or hike almost every weekend. It was a way for them to spend time together and was a respite from their business schedules. While Matt Payne has been climbing since he was young. It was not until about 10 years ago he began to own his passion for the mountains. He asked his father about different trails in an effort to draw on his more than 30 years of experience climbing Colorado, but memory can serve only so well. Octopuses get very friendly when they're on, MDMA study reveals. Octopuses are mostly solitary creatures who really spend time with each other, preferring to keep their own company other than during mating. But as in humans, when octopuses receive a dose of MDMA, also known as the party drug ecstasy, they begin to become very social indeed. Neuroscientists from Johns Hopkins University in the U.S. conducted the study and published it in a journal, Current Biology, and say that it reveals something profound about how our brains work. Octopus's social response to curious, because humans and octopuses have more than 500 million years of divergent evolution, making us very different creatures indeed. Among the many differences between us and the different anatomical patterns of our brains, because there is growing evidence we could share some very ancient neurotransmitters. This could explain why MDA has similar effects on both species. Creatures across the whole of the animal kingdom exhibit social behaviors from invertebrates, including ants and bees, through vertebrates like fish and primates. An animal molecule called serotonin is believed to be an important neurotransmitter driving particular kinds of social behaviors. It's present in all of these species, and MDMA causes high levels of serotonin to flood the brain. Dumb laws in Colorado. One may not mutilate a rock in a state park. Car dealers may not show cars on Sunday. It is legal for liquor stores to sell food or grocery stores to sell any alcohol except beer that is at most 3. It is illegal to ride a horse while under the influence. Tags may be ripped off of pillows and mattresses. In Alamos, throwing missiles at a car is illegal. To own a dog over 3 months of age, one must obtain a license. In Aspen, catapults may not be fired at buildings. In Boulder, it is legal to challenge a police officer, but only until he or she asks you to stop. It is legal to permit one's llama to graze on city property. Boulders may not be rolled on city property. Couches may not be placed on outside porches. Now here's our weather report. Our current weather data comes from the DCTV weather station located in the beautiful downtown Duff Creek. The current temperature is 80 degrees. The high for today was 79 degrees. The low was 57 degrees. The Bahamas Mama meters at 29.61 inches and is full, and humidity is at 19%. Wind is between 1 and 10 miles per hour northwest. Gusts have been up to 32 miles per hour. There was 0.00 of an inch of rain measured today by the DCTV weather station. Moisture for the month is 0.70 of an inch. Moisture for the year is 49 inches and 49 inches in hundreds, some hundreds. Now for the big map, courtesy of the National Weather Service. We have 5 lows clustered here in the west. Wait. Yes. There is rain with snow from Wyoming through Montana. The rest of the country is covered with scattered rain showers starting in eastern Montana and Missouri and Arkansas and running through Florida and New York. Okay. Maine into New Hampshire and Vermont is mostly clear. Here's your exclusive DCTV 5-day forecast. Tuesday, high 72, sunny, high 72, low 44. Wednesday, sunny, high 72, low 43. Thursday, sunny, high 75, low 47. Friday, mostly sunny, high 77, low 50. Now for our climate change report. CO2 carbon dioxide is considered a greenhouse gas and is one of the principal causes of climate change. CO2 traps heat in the atmosphere, which causes climate instability and worldwide variations of hot and cold temperatures. So it's important that we report the CO2 weekly changes. So here are the current readings in parts per million. This week 405.69. Last week 405.39. 1 year ago 403.16. 10 years ago 303.32. 50 years ago 320.41. Thank you for watching our kids news and weather show. Remember, you can buy sponsoring up to help keep our kids news show on the air. Call 970-677-419. That's 970-677-419. Thank you. Now back to our news director.
And that is the end of today's DCTV 4-H Evening News Program. This is your news director, Dan, saying good night and thank you for watching.